Chapter 2, Graphs, Charts, and Tables, Describing Your Data. In this video, we'll learn more about bar charts and line charts. In a separate video, I'll show you how to do that in Excel if you want to watch it. So in section 2.2 of the chapter, we talk about bar charts, pie charts, and stem and leaf diagrams. We're not actually going to cover stem and leaf diagram. I've never actually used it in business, so we won't emphasize that. It won't be on any exams, but we will focus more on how do we display categorical data. Remember, this is qualitative data such as gender, political affiliation. It's not numeric. So what we can do is create bar charts or pie charts. So with a bar chart, this is a graphical representation of a categorical data set that uses a rectangle or bar to describe each category or class. And the length or height of the bars will represent the frequency or percentage of observations or some other measure. So for instance, we have a bar chart here where I've polled students to ask why they come to class late. And we've got 16 students that say they got stuck in traffic. 26 students that said I forgot to set my alarm. We've got some students that said I thought it was Saturday, and others that said they had no clean clothes. So we can see here the number of students who said they were late for class for a particular reason. Now you might ask, well, what's the difference between a bar chart and a histogram? The common error here is that with histograms, what we're doing is we are counting the frequency of a numeric value that occurs. Whereas with a bar chart, it's really meant for categorical data. So I'm quantifying the number of people who fall under these categories, as opposed to counting a particular number. To construct our bar chart, and here you can see a vertical one, as opposed to the last screen that was horizontal, you'll want to figure out what are our categories for our variable of interest, and here our variable of interest is car companies. We'll want to identify the appropriate measure to display. In this case, we're doing the number of cars sold. We'll create the bar chart using Excel, and then we'll interpret the results. So we can see General Motors had the most number of cars sold compared to BMW and Daimler. So that's how you'll construct a bar chart. Now for pie charts, these are typically used to show the parts of a whole. So think of the circle as being divided into slices where each slice displays a category or class. And the slices are proportional to the magnitude displayed in that variable for each category or class. So the steps here, for instance, so step 1, you'll define the categories for the variable of interest. In this case, you can see our chart is looking at different social media options that people might use. In step 2, we'll figure out the appropriate measure or value. So we're going to be using the percentage of people that use this social media primarily. And then we'll construct our pie chart using Excel, where each slice represents each category. So we've got 5 categories of social media here, and then we can see the percentage of people that use it as their primary social media option. So sometimes with pie charts, they are mistakenly used when a bar chart would be more appropriate. So for example, a few years ago, the student leaders at Boise State University wanted to draw attention to the funding inequities among 4 public universities in Idaho. To do so, they rented a large billboard adjacent to a major roadway through downtown Boise. The billboard contained a large pie chart like the one you see here, where each slice indicated the funding per student at a given university. For a pie chart to be appropriate, the slices of the pie should represent parts of a whole. Instead, the amounts merely represent the dollars of state money spent per student at each university. So the sum of the $4 amounts on the pie chart was meaningless. It doesn't really show a viewer the issues behind the funding. So a bar chart would have been more appropriate so you can see which school gets more funding than others more easily. So that's a conceptual discussion on our bar charts and pie charts in Chapter 2.